All right, everyone. It's week 15. All your best ball teams. Well, let's just put it this way. There's a reason that you are here to watch a Battle Royale sim show in week 15, and it's because you didn't draft enough Saquon Barkley. You're trying to get even. We have Mr. Nerdy Tenor. We have Mr. Brian Hooper here. We are going to get to the bottom of how a computational prodigy is going to solve Week 15 NFL DFS. Let's go.
It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's Short King Summer.
Well, folks, I will say this. We did get very lucky that Peter Overzet did not win the main Battle Royale last week. He was there. He was there.
What did he take?
Oh, he got knocked way out. He got it.
There was so much late stuff went nuts that like.
Yeah, I got up to 19th
nice.
until actually that final Puka Nacua touchdown helped me, but then it was one of those things where it was like it helped you only if Josh Allen decides to start sucking, because Puka scoring then made it so that Josh Allen was going to get more points. And I was pretty light on Josh Allen last week relative to the field. I think, which I actually, I don't know, these quarterbacks that go so early. I mean, we're going to see what the computer has to say about it this week, because right now Josh Allen is number 1 overall in average draft.
So Pete, I know how he plays. I know his strategy basically, and I'm guessing he had Sam Darnold then.
Yeah, everyone's best team had Sam Darnold. I had.
But he's not. He's rarely going to have like a Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. He did not have Josh Allen. He had a Sam Darnold double stack with George Kittle, Zach Charbonnet, and Bijan Robinson on the other side of his double stack. Although I think that was coincidental. I don't think he drafts that way on purpose. Dan, did you have any good teams last week?
I had very little time. I drafted 7 teams, and 2 of them were in the 12-man. I don't think any of them cashed actually at 7. So, not nothing to talk about. Did I do anything in the other ones?
What about you, Brian? Did you play?
I don't think I played Battle Royale last week. I did cash. I only did 9 BBM teams, and I got 2 in.
Nice.
2 out of 9. Can't complain. But I wanted to say,
you only spent you got 7 or 8 fewer teams in, or 9 fewer teams in than me, despite me spending the entirety of the summer pounding my face into the pavement. So congrats to you.
Well, but not as good as my little brother who did 2 teams and got 2 in. So
shout out to your little brother.
But let's talk about this before we pivot.
Yes.
Dan does these like flex stats and bring back stats from his EQ stims.
Okay.
And this is another reason why I was talking about Pete. I know he looks at this stuff. Like he's like added some of this to his videos occasionally and stuff. And last week, Dan had wide receiver flex at about 10% in the main, right? Yeah, am I looking at the right thread here? Yes.
That sounds good. It's higher than normal, yeah.
Which is higher than normal. You could share the Discord, or we could, if you wanted to look.
I was just doing that to set up for the draft. That was not intentional.
But in the bringbacks too, was the bringback higher? I don't know. I don't know.
You know, I have to look at those a little bit. I think those. I have to do a little analysis, but I think when we look at those, we're going to find that they're pretty close to what you would expect by chance. I think it's a pretty small effect. But I need to go back and look at that.
It wouldn't surprise me if Pete was bumping up his wide receiver stacks a little bit this week. And I'm pretty sure
from my initial run this morning, I think it's right this second. It's at 8.3% for wide receiver flex. So
Which is still a little higher than normal, right? Isn't it more like
that is higher than normal?
A few of the early ones, it was just like slam the running backs because they're the either. I think it's mostly dominated by the fact that because you have to take 2 wide receivers and it tends to flatten out pretty quickly, that the drop off in running backs is greater, and running backs are just more attractive in the half PPR format than they are in other kinds of games. So I think it's mostly down to that, where you don't want to miss out on the good running backs, but missing out on the wide receiver almost takes care of itself. Like the first 5, 6, 7 are competitive, and then you have a lot of more flexibility, I guess. I don't
know. If I'm thinking about this like as a bro, and I'm looking at, and I got access to what Pete has access to, I would go, okay, if the EQ says 10%, the field's probably not doing that. They're probably
field's doing it so low.
So low
the field almost treats it like 2 running backs as a requirement, really.
And that would be my intuition even. So like, no, you're totally backing up. Would be then to go higher than the 10%, actually.
Wow. Second in the Wildcat last week
Nice.
for Mr. Ransack. These fits are a gold mine. Well,
nice, dude.
I'm glad it's working for somebody.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's the BR Underdog
BR Wildcat. I'm actually complaining. I actually did make money last week. I just didn't have Josh Allen, so I think I played very, very well last week and didn't get there, which it's more frustrating to play well and not get there than to just have your normal results or whatever. You know,
sometimes.
Yeah.
We should, it's funny you brought up Josh Allen right at the start, because it was literally the first thing I noticed, and I have been noticing. So maybe we should just pause there for a second. So one of the most consistent things I see in terms of what my software does differently than the field is it always wants to take the elite quarterbacks a little later than the field. Now, there's always a chance that my software is just wrong about that. My stuff's not perfect, and it's difficult.
I actually, Dan, I spent 15 minutes in the sauna this morning thinking about this.
Yeah.
And I, as viewers of the stream know, I'm not very good at math, so I'm going to need you guys to help me noodle through these thoughts. So this is the fundamental logic problem. The computer does not like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson at the rate to which the field does, which means that if you just were to draft 150 teams using the Sims, you're either not going to get any of them or like very, very light. Like 150 teams, maybe using the Sim stuff, we get them, let's call it 5 times, we get Josh Allen.
Yep.
Does that imply that the field is playing suboptimally and that you just eat it the weeks that Josh Allen, or is there some percentage of which you say wisdom of the crowds, wisdom of the ADP, whatever, I'm going to break from what is GTO just because I'm not even wording this right, really. But basically, like, when do you break out of the optimal strategy to basically add more combos that you cover effectively?
Well, there's two reasons to do it, and both are sound. By do it, I mean deviate from what the computer is telling you. The first is based on a humility argument, which is that,
right,
if my shit is wildly different than the field, how confident am I really that I am right and the field is wrong? So that's number one. And then number two is just a diversity question, where you say, God, I do not want to get 5% of my money back because I never took Lamar or Josh Allen, if one of those two is necessary to cash. Like, I'm uncomfortable with that. So the first thing I'm quite sympathetic to, having done stuff for a long time, you learn not to take any one piece of info too seriously from your process, because this shit is large and complicated. So that argument, I think, is a pretty good one. The second one, let's say you say, okay, I'm willing to roll the dice and assume that my process is really correct here, and that everyone taking Allen and Lamar too early is making a mistake, and they're losing too much EV by punting the draft capital early on quarterback. If you believe that's true anyway, I'd say rather than, I think a different way to diversify is to just play less teams. Like, rather than play teams that you believe to be negative EV, like let's say you really think it's negative EV to take Josh Allen 1st through 5th. Let's just say, well, it kind of doesn't make sense to draft those teams if you really believe that and you're pretty confident. Just draft less teams.
But I'm thinking more the other way. I'm coming from a humility drafting based perspective of saying, I think I'm right, but I'm not certain I'm right. And so I want to give the field some credit. I want to lend credence to what the field is saying.
But your sim stuff is saying no too, though, right? In this analogy?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. No, I get that, because you're in a way, like, a game like this is so complicated. The source of edge is probably very spread out. There are lots of different ways the field is getting things wrong. So it's almost like you're diversifying your edges because you're not confident in all of them. That's another way of thinking about it. It's like maybe one edge is people are taking Lamar and Allen too early. But let's not make it so that if that one thing is wrong, we get none of our money back. Like, I kind of get that, thinking about it that way.
Yeah, because let's just call a spade a spade. I'm doing 150 teams every week. I'm not gonna scale back. And like, kind of what I do is I do my drafts on Monday, which is like my player take drafts. Like, field's wrong about this, right? And Battle Royale is not a CLV game. Like, it's a combos game. But the combos I'm able to get on Monday, like, for example, Rico Dowdle was or Chuba Hubbard was a 6th-round pick on Monday. He's like a 3rd-round pick now. I expect Chuba Hubbard is going to be really popular in the drafts that we do today. Then, like, Tuesday hones in a little bit more. Projections come out on Wednesday. Like, you're getting a good diversity of mix in there. And then Saturday, I check the ETR actual projections, like, or rankings, how they have them. And if I see something I haven't got in there, like, oh, ETR has player X way higher than I would have thought. I'm like, okay, that's like kind of the humility check where I'm like, okay, I'm going to start taking some of this guy ETR really likes.
Yeah, no, I get it. And I think spreading out your edges makes sense. In both ways. Like, you're diversifying your equity, and then there's also an element of humility. It's like, I think I'm getting edges in a bunch of different places, but I'm probably wrong about some of them. So I'm gonna take my edge in different places and hope I'm more right than wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know, what do you think about that, Brian? I know.
No, I mean, it's the analogy is kind of hard. I'm trying to parse exactly what he's saying, but what Dan said there is I agree with. Like, if you have like basically the same expected value, and you have a plethora of teams to choose from, you should take teams that really don't look like each other in large field GPPs, in my opinion.
Right.
You're not losing any EV.
Right.
And you should have
well, that's actually an argument for drafting Josh Allen, by the way, because two things are inarguable. He does have the highest projection of any quarterback. It's a slot you have to fill. But the other thing in terms of selecting teams that are unlike each other is he has pass catchers who are going largely undrafted. Cooper, Kincaid, Keon Coleman, these guys are going unselected. So you were able to get very high projected Josh Allen teams that are also unowned, where the combos are not replicated often by the field. Effectively, what I'm saying is the question I'm asking, Brian, is how do you price in your humility? How do you price in the chance of you missing something? Basically that's what I'm saying.
It's easy for me. I assume for Dan too. We just go, we're fully humble because we're not ball knowers, and whatever we can do to get our biases out of there, do it. And like, that's why I say I'll go full as max amount of uniques I can within reason every single time in any sport. Because my stuff might be broken and might suck. I don't have any player takes really. So the wider the better, but you can't go too far because you might just be throwing in dog shit lineups in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like in your analogy with the Josh Allen is really high. That kind of right. He's like 1 through 5 or something.
I believe literally right now he is on average.
Today he's 1. Yeah, which is insane.
Okay. Because that kind of sucks because you're not going to get him. Where normally you could just wait and you'll probably pick him up.
So that's the thing is like this week, I think most weeks when a guy is like a 2nd or 3rd round pick, you can just get like 10% of him and just be like, whatever, I'll have less of him than the field, but I'm not going to have stone 0 this week. I actually think as a ball knower who pretends to know about math, I think there probably is a great amount of expected value to be gained by just not taking him at all. By just doing 150 without him and saying, if Josh Allen's who you need, that's who you need, and I won't win.
And then I think there's another thing I want to add too. So, specific to sim stuff. So, oftentimes, if let's say we have the 1-1 and we just take Josh Allen, it's what, a $7 contest today?
Yeah.
So, if I take Josh Allen first, let's say it says, okay, your lineup is now worth $4.38. So we took a big hit. Oftentimes we end up making that up later in the draft. So it's often not as bad as the sim thinks it's going to be because the other players are going to make some mistakes along the way. Right. So it makes it a little less bad than it appears, especially in the early picks. But another thing you could consider, like, let's say literally every draft we see he goes first. Another way to hedge it, if you wanted to, is to just say, when I have the 1-1, I'll flip a coin and I'll take him every other time. So you can shrink your exposure that way too, if you wanted to do it.
That's what I've been doing, by the way, is I've just been totally randomizing who I pick between Henry, Barkley, Chase, and Allen at the top.
Davis, I think you kind of have it backwards with the humility thing.
Well, that would not be surprising. I'm not famous for my humility, Brian.
But like the idea of using Sims is being humble. Because like if you know everything, why would you use Sims? You just draft the nuts every single time against these donkeys. So like by going, I'm not going to take Josh Allen because I don't know anything. I don't know any better, but the Sims are telling me not to. Then I don't take them because the Sims are telling me not to. So I think, but really, it's kind of a good thing to not be humble in this instance when you're using Sims, because you could. This was going to be my answer to the original question of like, is to get like the idea of like what to do when you want, when your Sims are telling you this thing and you're not sure. It's important to know what your Sims are actually doing. And we had an example of this last week, or was it 2 weeks ago? They all blend together with Hurts and Barkley. And that, does your Sim know that there's this push tush scenario where Barkley can get vultured by this player? And if it doesn't, well, you can no ball and then make some slight changes to the suggestions.
Yeah.
When those situations pop up, that's a very good no ball example to deviate from Sims. So I think it's the other way around, where you got to know what your Sims are doing. If you just want to be humble, just do what they say. If you don't, and you have opinions and you think you know more, which in some of these cases you probably do, but you have to really know what your Sim's doing and why it's telling you what it's telling you.
Right. Well, in my case, as the Sim developer, I'm humble about my software development ability. So, yeah, slight changes is not a problem. But it is tricky.
I will say the weeks I've done the best, this is exactly what you'd expect. The weeks I've had a sweat, the weeks I've had a good team is when I had a player take really go my way, as opposed to really good structure, got all the good combinations in, which doesn't even particularly mean anything about me as a player. It just means I happened to get a guy who scored a lot of points on a bunch of teams. So I got deeper into the combos with the guy you needed. I think obviously there are. Well, Brian, the point I wanted to make.
By the way, Hurts did Vulture Barkley that week.
Hurts Vulture Barkley last week.
Then it was last week.
A point I wanted to make on top of that is the humility of using the projections. You're also making the assumption that your opponents are not being humble. Your opponents are using no humility. Your opponents are saying these are the right picks all the time, or basically saying Michael Leone and the 4 guys who work on the projections that establish the run are making the right picks, and they know, and I trust them implicitly. But also there's a layer on top of that, in that it's not humble, because you're saying this is more almost like a metaphysical conversation, where you're saying I, in my infinite wisdom, am able to recognize what the perfect inputs to the Sim would be. I trust the Sim implicitly because I am smart enough to realize that it's the right Sim, and this is beyond fantasy football, but that's more of a that's more philosophy, but it is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
That's more take cast stuff than
Sure. But like, kind of to your broader point though, there is times when you should deviate from the Sims. It's just a matter of when. You want, what ways you're using to deviate. Is it because you think you know better? I think that's fine, as long as you have some reason for that basis.
You should also want your IKBs to not overlap with the field. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want your IKBs to overlap with 30% of your opponents, so that they all believe the same thing as you. So you're getting into really similar combinations with people who feel the same as you. I think that's probably where the ETR copy pasters run into trouble, by the way, where they might be different from the field at large, but they are also very similar to people who drafted. Like 20% of the field is drafting almost exactly like them.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. I was just gonna say something, but I lost my point right before you.
Sorry.
You said it's all right. It'll come to me in a second. Davis,
okay.
do you know who Kyle Reese is?
I do not know who Kyle Reese is.
I was gonna say, I bet Davis doesn't even get this comment.
Kyle Reese. I've never seen the Terminator.
Never seen the Terminator. End the stream right now.
I've seen Pumping Iron like 4 times.
Okay.
Big Arnold guy. I actually non-ironically love Arnold. I think he's great. But I've not seen.
I like Arnold too.
Yeah. Maybe, do you think my wife would go for the Terminator? Probably not, right? Not a wife movie.
I don't know. My wife likes them.
Maybe Terminator 2.
2 is really strong.
Okay, my wife will watch any of the Star Wars movies. If I put on Empire, she's down. So,
she might like Terminator 1 actually.
Okay. I believe we are not going to get college football playoff best ball. I think if we would have gotten it, it would have been launched by now. So I'm gonna guess no. So I'm sorry for that. And now, after 30 minutes of metaphysics, let's go ahead and hop into our very first. I mean, can we even find it? There's so many goddamn things
Like
in this
the
lobby.
NFL. There you go. I also have the 12-man builds if we want to do it, although those take quite a lot longer.
They do. They do.
So one thing to flag, I adjusted one projection slightly, nothing major. The other thing is Chuba Hubbard popping big time. He's gonna be
He projects for 1 billion points.
Yeah, and he's gonna.
I remembered what I wanted to say. What I wanted to say.
All right.
Go.
It was usually like Davis gave like a very like specific example of like what to do, but usually the changes, the slight changes and stuff like that, are like kind of easy to get to. Like Josh Allen, like you could just wait maybe, and then he'll drop, and then you get him. You know, like usually like you can make small strategic moves, like we talked about, maybe like just being a little wider, like entering different lineups slightly, you know, more different line. Like you could solve a lot of these problems with like smaller changes than something like extreme where you're like drastically changing the projections or, what have you. Usually you could do usually the solutions are pretty easy, like the Hurts Barkley thing. Oh, this is one spot we got to pay attention to, something like that. It's not like a dramatic change.
Well, luckily, we don't have to deal with that right now because we got the 1-6. I'm going to say right now, Dan, I'm not taking Chuba Hubbard at 1-6, 1-7.
Yeah, I don't think you should.
I just went through projections. I just did the DFS show with Jacob before, so I know what his projection is, and it's really high. So, not saying he's a bad pick, not saying I know more than the projection people, but just from an opportunity cost perspective, I think it's bad to take him here, and it's going to tell us to take him here. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think you're right. So the other thing, would you guys care to hazard a guess when the sim thinks Josh Allen should be taken on average?
8th.
What do you got, Brian?
I don't know. 5th.
I have him as 10.47.
Yeah. That feels more intrinsically right to me.
Yeah. I mean, the other humility thing is like if you have two conflicting sources of information, you could just middle it a little bit. Is another approach. You say, yeah, I think it's directionally accurate, but maybe it's going too far. Maybe I'll take him 5th or something.
This would be an example. If I was going to say, if I ever get Josh Allen at the turn, I would be.
Yeah, you probably should take him. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Now we won't. He's going to go right here to Silver Lightning 4. But
probably.
all this talk and he's going to drop to it. 6.
Well, just from okay.
There you go.
He did go.
So
after Hubbard, who does it have for us?
We have James Conner, Joe Mixon, Chase Brown, HN. Actually, Chase Brown winning, Mixon in second at the moment. Now they flipped Mixon and Brown, Brown and Mixon. Mixon, Brown, HN is the order at the moment, but it's pretty tough.
Does it have Chuba number 1 though?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
And it will again after this pick. So we went Brown.
You know what? Everyone always gives me such a gosh darn hard time.
Now it doesn't say no. Yeah, it's gonna win.
Yeah, whatever. It's $7, man.
It's close though. I mean, between Chuba and Mixon here, it's pretty tight.
This will get me some good combos.
Okay.
This will give me good combos.
We have to add the live EV calculator. So Davis just wants to get that number up, and then he'll start doing these things. Then he'll start listening.
Okay, we're at $6.53 right now. So not bad for the turn.
We'll take it. Yeah. I mean, to be clear, I think this is probably it's probably bad advice. Not bad advice. I think it's bad to do this because you can get higher projecting combos. Like if you Dan, let's say this is right.
No.
That Hubbard should be going here. You could get we could take Amon-Ra St. Brown there and then get Hubbard with our next pick at a
Yeah. Oh,
relatively
yeah.
high frequency.
Yeah, and in fact, if you think about it, let's say you think that's super high EV, like you could make that decision, and even if it only pays off a portion of the time, it could still be plus EV overall. Like, let's say if you did Brown and Amon-Ra, and there's like a 1 in 4 chance of getting Chuba next time around, but it's like super high EV, it might make sense to just take a shot. So yeah, I'm all about that. Somebody said, "Can you tell Nerdy Tenor it's okay to double stack in Battle Royale?" Yes, it is.
When did he say it wasn't?
In fact, I think my stuff might be a little too eager.
I was gonna say his stuff generally, like we had like some Kyler, McBride, Marv stuff last week that it liked.
Yeah.
Your stuff does it a little bit more frequently than the field.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I think it's dead on there, but yeah, it definitely does it.
All right. Trey McBride goes there. Let's see. Who can we get? I'm curious. I don't have the wide receiver projections memorized.
Okay.
No, that's not true. I know for a fact we did a minimum of one Marvin Harrison Jr. McBride Kyler team last week. We didn't get to Jordan Addison though. We did not get to old Jordan Addison. A lot of Marvin Harrison Jr. though.
I'm assuming not a lot of people did, right?
I had 5 Jordan Addison teams, which is a lot more than the field. Not enough though. Not enough.
I have a thought on double stacking in the 12-man. I'll bring up later. I think it should happen more.
For sure should happen more in a 12-man. Yeah.
And I think the reason has to do with different parts of the equity curve. Okay, let's see real quick here. So we got Jono Smith and Evan Engram, and then it wants one of the tight ends, or T. Higgins, Zach Ertz, Jono Smith, Jalen Hurts. T. Higgins, Zach Ertz, Jalen Hurts, Hunter Henry. I think it's a very wide band of things to do here. To go T.
We'll give it T and then see if it wants Burrow or Jonnu.
It's saying Jonnu or AJ Brown. Oh no, it's all AJ Brown is, or Joe Burrow. Yeah, Joe Burrow is in second. AJ Brown.
I knew.
It's close.
I knew the sim
Let's
better
see
than
what
it knew itself.
You're gonna go with Mr. Burrow.
I took Burrow because I think what it's picking up is that we have Chase Brown as well, and that it likes that combination. I think.
Yeah. So it has us at $7.02 now. So it improved a little bit.
I don't. This is one of those classic. I don't love this combination of players, Chase Brown and T Higgins together. But I think it's so clear the field doesn't like it that it's not doing it. Like, there's just not going to be very many teams total with this combination. There'll be 100 teams maybe in the whole field, probably less with this permutation of players.
So here's my thought on double stacks and why I think you should see them more in the 12-man. So if you look at so double stacking is a way of like having to get less things right in a way. That's one way people talk about it. I think it's kind of a good mental model for part of what's going on there. So if you get the team right, then and you have multiple players from the team, then you're likely to get a high score. So this is most obvious in something like baseball, where you regularly take 5 batters from the same team, right? In football, it's harder to get the super duper high score with a double stack than it is with a single stack. So like it's much harder to win, say, the Millie Maker with a double stack, because it's more likely that you need the specific.
You have to hit a 6-leg parlay.
Right, exactly. So here's where I'm going with this. In a 12-man, let's say you have the 12th pick, and your equity is just dog. Like just all of the good stuff is concentrated in picks 1 through 8. Let's just say. Well, now you're not really playing for first anymore. You're just the equity you have in your team is coming from min cashes and placing 50th and shit like that. Yeah. And there, you're double stacking might make it more likely for you to cross that line, even though it makes it less likely for you to win. Because the sim might just be saying, I'm not winning this fucking contest, but at least I can try and cash. So I'm just going to jam this game and hope the game goes off and maybe I'll cash, if that makes sense. That's my theory. I can't prove that, but I definitely see it in the 12-mans more where it double stacks more.
That makes sense to me.
Makes 100% sense to me. Yeah, I think a non-correlated team is more likely or a very likely in the 6-mans because you could just get the nuts.
Yeah, it's much easier to get to the nuts. So it's saying Devontae Adams, Mike, it really wants Devontae. And then Mike Evans. Well, it's like Devontae Adams and then a jump, and then Mike Evans and Jerry Jeudy.
All right, I gave it Devontae Adams. I did not want to, but now we need a.
Wow, the mighty has fallen, Devontae Adams. Jeez.
So I don't know what Njoku's status is.
He's not going to play.
Okay, then let's not take him. It's saying Ingram, Laporta, Ferguson.
Laporta's due, isn't he?
Ferguson, Laporta, Ingram.
I would argue
a little bit lower, not a huge.
Well, I was actually going to take Ingram, and then my nimble fingers were not nimble.
Sorry.
I have a cold.
It's affecting your dexterity.
No, I have a cold, so I've been taking cold medicine, and so my brain is just like fraction slow on everything this week.
I can barely tell the difference. No, just kidding. No, my whole family got sick on Monday. My poor kid was like coming out of both ends. My wife got really sick. It was really not good.
Yeah.
So yeah, we finished with $8.69.
Not great. Not great. And I did everything the computer said other than taking Chuba Hubbard.
Well,
with inflation, I don't think we were able to get coffee.
Wait, no, I did take Chuba Hubbard, didn't I?
You did. Yeah,
okay,
we profited. It's a $7 contest, and we got $8.69.
Yeah, $1.69.
Come on.
What can you get for $1.69 these days?
Yeah, like literally nothing, dude. Trump's America,
nothing.
dude. There's nothing.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to say something on an earlier comment. Was it Cooler said Davis has no problem like tinkering or whatever with the suggested picks?
Yeah.
I just wanted to make the point of the reason I don't like messing with the suggested picks isn't because I think Dan's like stuff is like perfect and we're definitely going to win all the money every single time. It's just I think within the sim that he's built specifically, there's a lot of information that you might not know, might not be able to hold in your head about like who's been picked, who's still available, and it's running through all these iterations of players, smart players drafting.
Yeah.
And so by you going like, no, I want to take this guy right here, not you, Davis, but just anyone, like, and messing with it. It's different than if you were doing an optimizer, like a sim product on the market for DFS.
Sure.
Where you're bringing up a player a little bit and then like, oh, now I have 12% of him instead of 6. Now I'm happy. Like you might not want to do that either. But like in this case, like I feel like specifically we might be losing a lot of information by making these changes. Because like when we do the ADP versions, a lot of the time, what does it do? It just gives us the ADP pick a lot of the time, like who the market likes. It's interesting is when it doesn't. Why didn't it? Like, that's why I like doing that sometimes. And like, then we definitely should not change, like it could be a little randomness, but it also might be information.
Okay. So Josh Allen has gone 3rd and 5th so far. So Joe Mixon and Saquon. It just wants Saquon.
I'm literally stunned that it likes Saquon more than Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, it does a little.
All right, Saquon, welcome to the team. Frank, truthfully, I'm hoping that Saquon gets 7 points this week.
Oh yeah,
sure
so many teams drop out. Yeah,
for
I'm sure that's yeah. I don't.
Oh, look who it is! Look who it is! Patrick Barnes, YouTube.
Nope, his notification went off.
No, Pete met him last week at the Dog Bowl.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he mention you?
Pete mentioned him to me. I'm gonna take St. Brown.
What did he say?
Amon-Ra?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and take Amon-Ra.
He said he was not bum hunting me. And that's all. That's all I got from Pete was that he is not bum hunting me.
He's lying. He's bum hunting this shit.
He is a YouTube bro. Like
yeah, but he hasn't made a video in so long.
He's ETR's YouTube bro.
Does he have notifications set up for when you go live so he can get in? He's bum hunting you, Davis.
Do we think Pat Barnes YouTube is subscribed?
And we're gonna sue ETR later today if this keeps up.
Keith said he asked him, and he seemed sincere that he was not bum hunting me.
Hey,
wow. Oh my God, Patrick Barnes YouTube, dude. You're a celebrity. You're a celebrity in these parts, man. We
Pat, do you have notification? Did you write a code to notify you when Davis starts drafting? Yes or no?
Oh, incredible. Mr. Patrick Barnes YouTube himself.
How many shows have we done? He finally shows up.
Oh, it's really full circle on the show. The only thing that has not happened on this show is me winning one of these gosh darn tournaments. Everything else has pretty much happened. We closed all loops.
The best would be to reveal that actually I am Patrick Barnes YouTube.
That would be a good bit.
Your keyboard really is unplugged. You've just been giving him shit the whole time.
All right, Chuba Hubbard went. It's gonna want Janu here, I bet.
No, it's saying James Conner. And
I'll probably have, frankly, no James Conner in drafts that I do not with.
There you go, free diversification. You're welcome.
With Mr. Tenor. As a true slappy. I mean, I am a born slap. There is no way that I am not just jamming Rico Dowdle in all these contests this week. I am born to slap, and Rico Dowdle is like our president. The scroll quarterback I've gravitated towards this week. This man right here, Baker Mayfield, quarterback 12. Oh, come on, grow up, Field. Quarterback 12.
What is Dan Davis's odds to win one of these so far? We could probably calculate that. Have you done 150 each week, Davis, or like close to it?
No, every week.
150 each week. How many weeks has this been? 14? 15? 14 total?
14 plus Thanksgiving.
Well, I can do it after this.
Yeah, let's do it.
No problem.
Yeah, that's going to be more
odds of an average drafter winning first, and then we can adjust.
And Davis, you have to do
a below average drafter.
Okay. T. Higgins.
Yep.
Travis Kelce also very close.
Projections love T. Higgins. They always do.
Kelce and Higgins are the ones it likes in this spot.
Let's do Kelce because I want to see what it tells us to do after that.
Nice thing about grabbing Kelce is
you don't have to take any of these dustball Evan Ingram idiots, which is like miserable. Tight end goes to 0 fast this week.
Hey guys, you want to do the show on Wednesdays now? Wait, hold on. You guys want to start doing the show on Wednesdays?
Actually, next week I'm not sure I can do Thursday because I'll have to
what are you gonna do?
I have to help my parents out.
I have a feeling his favorite day will become Wednesdays. all of a
Wednesday.
sudden.
Yeah, I can do.
I like Wednesdays for some reason.
I can do Wednesday next week. I think.
Yeah, my poor.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
Probably fine.
I got one parent who had a surgery, which is everything's fine, and then the other parent taking care of him fell and like,
ow,
majorly bruised her shoulder, so she's like one-armed. So like, they're like the Walking Dead over there. So I gotta
the real thing.
Gotta go help out. Yeah, don't get old. It's not recommended.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Gotta lift weights, man. Don't fight the sarcopenia.
Yeah, I gotta start doing that more. I'm turning in a scary age tomorrow.
Oh no, Dan.
Yeah.
I thought you already are a scary age.
Okay. Wants Devontae again. Is Lad McConkey playing?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so it's Devontae and then Lad.
Let's do Lad.
You want to do some Lad? All right.
We took Devontae last time. Let's get some diversity.
So like that would be an example, like right there. Well, we're kind of late in the draft, but maybe that's even better. It's like, man, maybe there's a reason, but it does seem like it just likes Devontae's projection. Is that probably right?
Yeah. Let me take a look.
But like for example, if it wasn't that, it's like, well, maybe he's bumping up because of some other reason in the sim. You know what I'm saying, Davis?
Yeah, but Devontae is projected well. That's what it is.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I'm not seeing outliers. I have 3 sources right now. The lowest is 13.12 and the highest is 14.5. So on FanDuel, so it's not like one is popping in any of them. So all right. So the question is which really tight between Herbert, Goff. It likes Herbert and Goff, and then Mahomes a little bit less.
Gotta scroll a long way to old Herbert.
Yeah.
Let's do Herbert because I'll have like none of him basically.
Right. Nice.
Yeah, if Justin Herbert wins, we'll know that it's a sim show.
So yeah, this team $9.29 in my stuff.
All right, so now we're up to like $2 a person basically.
No,
not yet. Close.
We can buy something off the 1, 2, 3 menu.
We could share. Yeah, we could share.
Like 6 chicken McNuggets.
Yeah. 2 nuggets each.
All right. Well, fair enough. Let's hop into another one. Very proud of this thumbnail, by the way.
It is
people
impressive.
People are liking it.
My wife was very appreciative of that.
Yeah. I've been trying to get more creative with them. I got on the Takecast one this week. I put Dave's head on Trump at McDonald's.
Dave Kitchen.
Yes.
That was a good show, by the way. That was a good show. I enjoyed your conversation. David's natural conversationalist.
Yes, yeah, he is. Dave's very, very good man, very charming guy. Really has helped me out a lot throughout the years.
Right, but I mean, I don't doubt that. But like specifically for like podcasts,
yes,
a lot of people don't come off as natural and just weird, or their voice doesn't work, or etc. He does not. He's quite good at it. He should podcast more.
Well, you can become a Swolecast YouTube member. Watch the members.
No, you guys ruined the show. It's Kitchen. I just want just Kitchen.
Just Kitchen. Just Kitchen.
No, but like he doesn't even have to do fantasy. It could be something else. Who knows?
Well, I mean, he's you and him could probably talk politics, Brian.
Maybe. Well, if I could talk politics with you, Davis.
No, he's a lot further. He likes to back the blue.
What? I thought he was never Trump Republican.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
How have we not, by the way, done a podcast about this Mangione character? We might have to do a show.
There's not enough information out yet.
Yeah. Are we gonna get to do? All right, we're gonna see what T-Mac NAC does, we might get to do a Josh Allen team.
Nice.
I think it is being overly.
Oh.
Okay, never mind. All right, it's gonna be.
What are we, 5th?
Nevertheless,
Mixon, Nico.
yeah, let's do Nico. I can't have Mixon in my life. I don't know if the Sims are not going to get deep enough to like Thielen, I don't think, but I think he is a good click this week. I'll be clicking at Thielen some.
Yeah, I'm not getting any. But I just want to reiterate for people who haven't heard. So, especially at the very bottom of the player set, I do have to do some trimming just to make this stuff run in any kind of reasonable time frame.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I think reaching for things that my stuff doesn't actually say at the very end is probably okay in a lot of cases. Chase Brown is winning here.
Oh,
Surprisingly.
wow.
Not
A new
Chuba.
Memby. Salute to you, sir. Thank you.
I'm sure if I run it longer, Chuba will win, but we're gonna ignore it anyway. So
We're gonna ignore it. Like I said, dude, it's slappy week. I mean, I'm not gonna not take Chase, and we might get Chuba Hubbard anyway. It would certainly not be impossible. Yeah, the Sims do love Connor every week because he projects for about 17.6 points every week.
I don't know about every week, but
I cannot really think of a week he's been on the main slate.
I can only think of like 1 or 2 he has been. We've been saying his name.
look at it later.
Wow.
Are you talking about Dan Sims?
Wow. No, I'm just saying projections in general.
Chuba Hubbard went 12th.
The
How does
Ramondre
this
Stevenson
membership stuff work?
So basically, Mr. DFS King A24 purchases 5 memberships to the channel, and there's some algorithm that randomly distributes it to people who are subscribed. You don't have to be in the channel, but it's just so people will be like, oh, yesterday someone did some gifted memberships, and someone came in and said, oh, I was studying for a final in college or whatever, and I got an email that I got a membership to the channel. How do I join the Discord? So,
It's a nice way to.
there you go. Allie
I
Thomas
like-
wasn't even here and got gifted.
Nice.
Oh, I was going to say it should be people who are watching.
Well,
Okay, 4 quarterbacks have gone. That should be good for us.
I assume that's good for our EV. Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of stuff is now. Yeah, these next 2 picks could be worth a lot. We'll see. Tyreek. Okay. Yeah. Ooh, it wants.
It's gonna like AJ Brown, I think.
It likes a lot of things. It likes Connor, Kelsey, Adams, Kamara, Dowdle, AJ Brown. AJ Brown is currently winning.
Yeah.
Connor, you want to do AJ? Let's do AJ.
Yeah, I just like, dude, in Slappy Week, I feel like Connor's kind of the opposite of Slappy Week. It's like Connor is like if it was Leone Week. Like if it was Leone Week, I'd want to take Connor. Wow, so this guy hit the plane, so we're already back up.
Okay. I got CD and Terry. Damn it, I typed this in wrong. Shit. Okay, we got AJ, then CD went, then Terry went. Okay. Connor, Kamara, Dowdle. It's horny for Connor. He likes Kamara next.
I did
Dowdle. Okay.
There we go. Everyone take your I don't know. What the fuck do people say? See, this is where something in my brain's not working. Mark your bingo card for me autocorrecting the sim. Yeah, I left my hat upstairs. So you guys are having to deal. You guys are gonna have to deal with it today.
This is pretty good. I wouldn't surprise me.
People have been passing around the screenshot of someone went onto BBMDB and photoshopped Luigi Mangione on a BBM team, and they've been passing the screenshot around. He was a Huberman, bro, Brian.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
he's pretty fit.
Yeah. Sure enough. You didn't like the Skeleton Crew, huh? You just thought it was whatever.
It's just too much for kids. It's just
I
there's no
haven't seen
point
it.
in criticizing a kid show.
There's just the thing is there's just nothing that objectionable about it.
No, there's nothing. There's nothing. I mean,
So-
I have plenty of objections, but it's a good show.
I bet you do. I bet you do.
I have not seen that yet.
Watch it. Tell me. I'd be interested, Dan, if you agree with me. I think it's fine, but it's for like 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
Not like, and like people who say like Stranger Things is a kid's show, it's like not really. Like
No, I wouldn't say that.
at least young adult, at least like
It's
16,
saying
18.
okay, we're in Njoku we're ignoring. We do not need a
Yeah.
quarterback. So
Correct.
Laporta, Hunter Henry.
We'll do Laporta.
Okay.
Curious if it wants Goff or Stroud.
I think it's gonna want Goff. Let's see here. Oh no, I might be wrong. Ooh. No, it wants Jalen Hurts.
Oh, I didn't even see he was there. Dude, people are used to have to take this at the 1-2 turn. People are over.
Yeah.
They do not believe in do theory.
Yeah. Well, at this point, it's past due. Like you said,
So-
there's 3 phases. Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
So we're gonna have to return one of the McNuggets because we only got $6.43 out of this one.
Christ.
That's when you go up when you're like 15, you have like no money and you're paying for food and you don't realize there's taxes. And it's so $1.20 and you have $1 and you're like, oh my God, it said $1. We can't have our nuggets now.
Terrible.
Terrible. The worst.
This
Buddy,
this
I am not checking my advancing teams.
is this inflation or is this that because so many like scumbags go in and go like, I want 20 packets of sauce and they just got sick of it. They start charging now for
Really?
like oh yeah, at least
yeah.
maybe it's just around Chicago, but
People have just been hoarding the
everywhere.
sauces. That's funny.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
yeah, you used to be able to
it's
get that
true-
free. Now
true.
it's like 25 cents you have to pay for anything extra. What?
past due worked for Justin Jefferson last week.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, finally.
Yeah. We keep getting these 1-5s.
So far, Allen has gone 3rd, 4th, and 5th, right? In the drafts we've done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Under the condition, we got to take Bo Nix or Ramondre. Bo Nix is actually very, very sneaky in these this week.
Let me see.
I did get a referral bonus. Thank you. You use promo code Davis, you get $1,000 first time deposit bonus match on underdog.com. I did. I get $100 every time someone signs up using my. No, I get $50 every time someone signs up using my deposit code.
So my stuff has Bo Nix drafted 13% of the time.
What percent of the time?
13.
Oh, I was gonna say like 2.
So that's
Yeah.
a good spot. If it's always nice if your no ball, no draft takes match up with the sim and it's different. Like those are the ones I'm inclined to push a little bit harder.
Well, let me check where our friends over at Establish the Run have him because it might not last very long. It's really incredible how much of an influence they have in any niche game. Any game that is niche at all, they influence it so much.
Who?
Is
The
that
ETR.
They actually don't have him that high. Yeah.
Do you want to
They
go Mixon this time? Or Chase
honestly,
Brown?
I don't. I'd rather do Chase Brown.
Okay, let's do Chase Brown.
I think this is a spot where I'm not showing any humility.
Yeah. For what it's worth, a lot of the picks here are pretty close in EV. So
Yeah. Like Josh Allen, I'm willing to be humble. Joe Mixon, no.
Davis
no
tricks himself into thinking he's being humble at any point because He picks the player he wants when he wants, and then when it agrees with him, he goes, "Yeah, okay, let's take the computer player." When it's one he already agrees with.
Oh, we got this guy at the turn taking Rico Dowdle, Chuba Hubbard. He got the message about Slappy Week.
Okay, if you don't want Joe Mixon, and
we'll take Mixon now.
Oh, we'll take Mixon now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Mixon just became a markedly better play when the two good RB2s that you want both get taken.
Look at Patrick Barnes like a poker pro sitting to the left of the donkey at the table.
all this talk of humility has me thinking of the Pop Star movie, Never Stop, Never Stopping.
I've never
a song about humility right at the beginning.
Is that a parody movie?
Yeah, it is. It's with I can never remember this guy. With
Is it that girl who always said Anna Kendra, whatever? She always
no. It's
That's Pitch Perfect.
Yeah, but I would just assume she's or the guy who's from.
It's the Andy Samberg people who do all the
Lonely Island. Oh, this does look really good. That does look really good.
It's pretty fun. I enjoyed it a little more than I should have when I saw that.
Maya Rudolph, Sarah Silverman, so a lot of Saturday Night Live people.
Mm-hmm.
Are you watching Dune, Brian?
No, but I'm gonna start soon.
I watched the first episode.
What'd you think?
I am so enamored with the Dune universe that I loved it.
Okay.
You know, like the people universally say the later Dune books are like unreadable, and I like devoured them. Read. I think I read the 5th Dune book in a sitting. Sat there. It's just like, my dad loved sci-fi, and he would give me like all these crazy sci-fi books, Arthur C. Clarke and stuff. So I just love that stuff. It's gonna want AJ Brown.
My dad caught me reading a book. He called me a pussy.
Saying Jono Smith, Jayden Daniels.
Ooh, let's do Jayden Daniels and see what it tells us. Yeah, let's see what it tells us to do.
T. Higgins was also in there. Yeah, what'd you say, Brian? I missed the last thing you said.
He said if you did get a new membership, all you have to do is link your Discord, link your YouTube account to Discord, and you'll automatically be added in. Brian said his dad caught him reading a book once and called him a pussy.
Someone just Terry McLaurin. So
someone took Terry. I thought that might happen. I think
it's not a disaster or anything.
I think this guy, Dr. One the Professor, is watching.
Devontae Adams, T. Higgins are the winners at the moment.
Not Jonnu?
Strangely, no. It's also listing Zach Ertz. It's probably just randomness.
I'm gonna take T.
T, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, this happens a lot where it's like you're at the turn, something's popping, you take something, and then that other option disappears.
Tyler, you just you just added me, and you know what? This is just easier. Sometimes this happens. I don't know why this happens.
Invite, yeah.
Yeah. Here you go. There you go. It's just click that link. I put it in the YouTube chat. If you get in free, you get in free. Pete told me I should make, or Pete and David were telling me I should just make the Discord free in general.
I don't know. I was just thinking about that in my head. I kind of like that it's not, but
I kind of like it because it's like I know everyone in there. You know what I mean? Like everyone who's in the Discord, I know them.
That's why I like ours too. The end game.
Yeah. Just a little bit of gatekeeping can go a long way.
Mm-hmm.
You just add a tiny bit of friction to get in, and it gets rid of like 90% of the problem. Yeah.
And there's like high level discussion going on. We don't want.
Okay, I gotta stop. We gotta stop doing this. Someone next time we're about to take T Higgins, someone tell me to not do that with Chase Brown. I don't want.
We missed that again. Yeah.
You also have to take Ramondre or Bo Nix at some point here.
Actually,
yeah.
So I'm not sure. So explain to me how my intuition is wrong. So like, if we take T. Higgins and Chase Brown without the quarterback, you could kind of make an argument for it. Like if that game goes off, but there's a lot of spreading around of the points,
that's worse for us.
If
the points get spread out, that the quarterback gets them all. Like what happened with the Bills last week.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's true. Thank you.
They could still get there, and Joe Burrow isn't needed.
Of course, there are we live in a multiverse. There are a million different things that could.
We can run an experiment after this draft. So after we pick Jayden Daniels, I'll run it with McLaurin as it happened, and then also with the other guy did not take McLaurin, and then compare the EVs.
Okay.
I'll do that. I can do that without too much.
We still want to see what Davis's odds are of taking first and 14.
Oh yeah, I'll do that first. Okay, so it's saying Zach Ertz.
I'm gonna go get a drink.
Zach Ertz makes sense. You couldn't get the other correlation, so
yeah. And I like Zach Ertz. I like Zach Ertz this week anyway because the field is not going to be particularly on him. And he actually is going to project better than a lot of these. Like he is going to project for more raw points than Mark Andrews and a lot of stuff.
So I already started clicking on your last pick because the next guy is
because we only need to watch. It's good. Well, it's going to say Lad, I think.
It is currently Evans.
Okay. Yeah.
Mike Evans. Yeah.
Sure.
By about 80 cents.
Yeah. Yes, of course it's not impossible, but like the ideal what you'd have without them having the quarterback is it would be they actually only score 2 touchdowns as a team, but they both get a shit ton of yards. Like T. Higgins gets like he gets like 180 yards and a touchdown, and Chase Brown has like 7 receptions, 150 combo yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns or something.
So while Brian's out, I'm going to run that experiment I mentioned. So I want to compare the EVs where you take Daniels and McLaurin is available versus not available.
So just give him T. Higgins and we take Terry McLaurin, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That kind of stuff is better in small field. Those kind of weirdo combinations. Yeah, I'm gonna assume the EV is better though.
Okay, we take Jayden Daniels, then he takes AJ Brown, and T. Higgins, and let's see what it spits out.
Yeah.
Did I do this right?
It's
it's not rushing to get Terry McLaurin there. Interestingly enough. Well, let me let it cook a little longer. Yeah, I don't think it seems to be somewhat indifferent to either stacking him or not stacking him at that point. It will take it, and then it's okay if it's okay with him not taking it.
It's hard for me to comment on the validity of that without knowing about some of your inputs. You know what I'm saying?
I do. And it's going to be heavily dependent on that's true.
So which one did it like?
It seems to be fine with either. It does not seem to cry many tears if McLaurin is not available at the next pick.
Yeah, that should be right. I mean, then
kind of makes sense. Could take it or leave it.
With taking Burrow, because to like Davis is saying he doesn't know the inputs, whatever. When you take Burrow out of the equation, that makes it a lot simpler. I mean, I guess the Higgins-Brown correlation you got to like really dial in, I guess. But when you take Burrow out, I'm saying like it's a lot harder. You probably need a much more complicated sim to specifically know what all those little differences are that would cause those like negative correlations for a top 1% outcome or whatever. But when you take Burrow out of it, I think it's probably right.
So I'll do the calculation now for odds of an average drafter not winning in the first 14 weeks, given that they max entered every time.
This is going to be more depressing than when Easy did the math on how much Bitcoin I could have bought with every dollar entered into Battle Royale. Now, obviously, that's not 100% 1-to-1 because a lot of that money's been rehypothecated, where it's money in, money out. It's all the same buck, more or less. But
so yeah, we'll see. So I'm going to assume the average field size is 40,000. Is that about right? Do you think?
Yeah. I mean, there was a Thanksgiving week and the Thanksgiving slate, but sure. Yeah, I think.
Okay, so let's say
for napkin math, this is fine.
150 entries, 40,000. So your odds of winning any given week are 0.375%. So the odds of losing are 99.625%. So the odds of not winning first 14 weeks in a row are that to the 14th power. So the odds of not getting first in any of the 14 weeks when 150 maxing is 94.88%. It's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
94.8%.
0.9 actually if you round. So 95% to not win for an average drafter maxing 14 weeks in a row.
So an average drafter has 5% chance of taking first in 14 weeks of max enter.
If they max enter.
That sounds high.
That sounds crazy high.
Well, you can
I
check
estimate
my
I estimate my true odds of 0%.
Here, I'll do it with you, okay?
You and Patrick Barnes agree on that, David.
Here, I'll share my screen. You can check my math. Here we go.
Dan, I'm not saying.
No, I'm happy for the audit if I get it wrong. Okay.
Oh my God, guys! You guys understand? You're getting to see.
I'm just using Python as a calculator. Okay. So 150 out of 40,000, right? That's your odds of winning any given week. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 0.00375. So that's 0.3%. So 1 minus that is the odds of not getting first on any given week. That's 0.99625, right? And then the odds of that happening 14 times in a row are that to the 14th power.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So it's 94876. So 95%-ish chance not to take first. Right? I'm getting called out for my Python version. All right.
Okay, do it if I'm half as good as an average drafter.
Okay. Well, then we just effectively
97.5 probably.
We just double the field effectively. That's the easiest way to do it. Right? Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
If we're half as good. So now it's 97%. Right.
So even a shitty drafter is still 2% to have won it.
Over 14 weeks max entering. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. All right, do it. Make the field size 160,000. It would make it about 0.5%. Right.
That's 1.3%.
It's anyone's game, really.
So now if you're talking, and now you're starting to talk DFS here.
Yeah.
DFS numbers.
It's also true. The BRs were bigger in the first.
Sure. All right. So say the average of the whole year is what? 50,000?
Yeah.
So you're still looking at 96%, whatever that would be.
How many bankroll week BR weeks are there? Regular BRs going to be
18.
18. Yeah. So let's go back to the average drafter. So okay, so you got a little over 6% to win one if you max every week as an average draft.
Average, and being average is probably still pretty hard, right?
Yes, yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
I don't know. I mean, this doesn't count for rake, but it doesn't matter.
No, it does. This is just how often you win. This doesn't
Yeah.
mean you're profitable. This is just whether you won.
Right. Yes.
Or how often you won. How often
Right.
you won. Anyway.
Useful thought experiment.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised it's as good as this. I thought it would have been a little bit lower, but I think 150 entries 18 times is a lot. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. 5%.
People asking about
that's
like
that.
Yeah, it could be.
Even feeling. I think feeling it's still probably right because 5% chance 14 times. Like if you're playing cards, and you got 5% chance. And you get to run it 14 times.
Sure.
Still probably not what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So if you max every week, you're expected to win once every 20 years.
As an average drafter, it's a little better, I guess. But yeah, in that realm. But this doesn't answer the more pertinent question, which is like, what are your odds of having a profitable year? And what are your odds of having a profitable year if you don't bank? Those are like, if you were really trying to figure out what you could reasonably expect, like those are the things I would be gaming out. The nice thing about the BRs compared to a lot of contests on, say, DraftKings or FanDuel, they're relatively flatter up top.
They're much flatter.
So you can have a profitable seat. Like I got 5th place once. I'm nowhere near maxing, so it's not a good analogy, but and I lost a lot on the 2 gamers, but I'm still up for the year in NFL because of that 5th place that I got. So get lucky is the long and short of it. Just get lucky.
Yeah, that's definitely in any of these.
or just play like Pete.
Yeah, just win all the money.
Yeah, I don't know why it's so hard. Pete, it's not hard for Peter.
Actually, it was hard for Peter. He did a lot of thinking and talking and adjusting his strategy.
Yeah.
No.
He's really interested to it'd be a cool experiment to do. I guess I could do it after the season is over, is to download all of the main BRs for all of the weeks and then compare and then simulate, do a post-lock sim basically of all the lineups, and then look at the distribution of actual profit and loss for players who are in different levels of EV. So like how many of the people who had like 20% plus EV have winning seasons? How many of the ones with 40% had plus EV seasons, etc. in practice? But actual, I shouldn't say EV. 40% EV players have actually profitable seasons, etc., etc. That would be interesting to look at. I think I just gave myself another to-do item. Whoops. All right. Yeah.
Ahead of playoff best ball sims?
Oh, God.
Huh.
It's so complicated, dude. I could just go on and on about how complicated that is.
Brian, do we have draft caddy stuff for playoff best ball?
Yeah, we just released update yesterday, Davis.
Sick.
What was on it? Let me see. Yeah, so it's got like the playoff code where it like it shows the top stack capital for the teams, like Philly, whatever. Yeah. So it has like, it does it by stacks, and then it'll suggest based on like the rules set up for playoffs, like no one from, you need certain people from each conference and all that stuff, which you can like adjust in the sliders section and the settings.
Yeah. All right. Sick.
What else is on there?
We got the 1-2. Who is it going to tell us to take?
Oh, you could look at past BR ownership data now too if you want. Like go select different weeks.
Nice.
Oh,
It has Derrick Henry slightly above Barkley. But
that's interesting.
It's close.
Wow,
Like the projections are
the Sims believe in the big dog, Brian. The Sims.
Who is it? Derrick Henry
Has Henry over.
But they're close enough. I would just that's one of those. Oh, Josh Allen goes. So that's one of those ones where I would just do whatever the field is doing if I were, because they're close enough that like.
I'm taking Henry, man. Henry is gonna kill every best ball team I have alive this week, so I might as well. I gotta find a way.
double down.
No,
you're going the other way.
I'm hedging. Yeah,
I heard you wrong at first.
You know, with these with these big dogs, these big projection guys early on, my guess would be the Sims will show it like doesn't matter that much. As much as it doesn't matter as much as it feels like it matters, because like each week it feels like, oh, you needed Barkley
and
you
it never,
needed
and
something.
It never
You didn't draft him, you're dead.
Well,
right? But
you know what it was last week, Brian. To give me credit, what did I say? I said let's just take Jefferson at 103. Let's just start. He was a second-round pick when we did the show last week, and I said let's just take him.
I've been saying he's due on this show for like 4 weeks. So.
That's true. That's true. Okay, who is it this week?
The do guy?
But let me finish this point really quick before we get a do player. Was so like these earlier guys, because it's just like a mental thing, you know, for your own mental self-care is like it. I imagine, Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, your Sims would show that it doesn't Henry, Barkley, it's not the biggest mistake ever.
No.
Where like down lower, you could probably make some big mistakes. You could be taking guys where it's like, oh, why didn't I take him? So like don't beat yourself up is kind of my point. If Barkley goes off and Henry doesn't.
Yeah, I think my take is, and this is magnified in the 2-person ones, that most of the major mistakes have to do with not respecting positional scarcity, as opposed to putting the players in a slightly different order within the position. So like, you know, if you're about to miss out on something important and you don't take that, like that's, here, let me pause for, Trey McBride is suggested. I'm going to do Trey McBride.
That's our first Trey McBride mention, and that'll let me tell you, Brian, that'll be good in the draft caddy combo machine, because the Derrick Henry user does not want to click the tight end who never scores touchdowns.
Okay.
I tell you.
Love it. It's like a reverse snowball.
Yeah. Draft like a boomer.
There you go.
Well, no, don't draft like a boomer on Slappy Week. This is the first I'm learning that McBride has a knee injury, so my level of concern is low.
Yeah, I adjusted him down slightly, and he's the one I adjusted because I had an outlier projection and I saw the slight concern, so I really thought Dan was about to be like, yeah, I'm slightly concerned about the mechanism of that knee injury. He just didn't look that good to me last week. Like, I was about to crack up. That would have been, Dan, if you just did like a 3-minute football spiel at some point. I'll have to prepare one of those in advance. It's your good friend James Conner. If you don't want to do that,
no, we got to do the combo thing. We got to take St. Brown.
Amon-Ra.
Yeah, this will be crazy low combinatorially.
Cool, I dig it.
That is crazy. That's a late. I've not seen him go later than pick 10.
Interesting. Let me see where my stuff thinks he should be. Amon-Ra. Oh yeah. So my stuff thinks he should go later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
But haven't you heard that Detroit Buffalo is going to be the sequel for the Josh Allen game from last week?
I had not heard
Beautiful. That. Could be. He's projected pretty well. I wonder why your stuff doesn't like him as much.
Yeah, we can look at that. Let's look at that after this draft. See what the curve looks like at each of the positions, because I'm curious too, and I have not looked at that yet.
Henry, McBride, St. Brown. I wonder if it's going to want Kyler before ADP or not.
Oh, interesting.
It normally does, if I remember.
The Sun God's kind of due too, right?
Oh yeah.
Big time.
So
It's not been a good year for Mr. Yeah.
No, it's
Back
not.
to your due question. Who's the due player of the week?
Yeah, due player of the week.
So we got Jefferson out of the way.
We got Jefferson out of the way. St. Brown could certainly be it's Kelsey.
Yeah.
Kelsey is his
God,
backup.
yeah, but he's got the Taylor Swift curse.
Oh shit, man. Yeah, you make some good points.
Uh-huh.
Hey, this is the mid curve IQ answer. Is AJ Brown? We're trying to dig.
Okay.
We dig deeper here at the end game syndicate.
Yes, we're in depth. It's saying Kamara here, and
What about Laporta? Not this pick for due.
I feel like yeah, it took a real genius to know that Justin Jefferson was due. I feel like the deal with Laporta is he doesn't even get the ball enough to be due. Like it's
Nobody
not like
knew who Justin Jefferson was until we started talking about him.
correct.
That's right.
No, it's true.
I thought it was Justin Jefferson until I came on the
Right,
show.
yeah.
Never even heard his name before.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right. Does it want us to do wide receiver or Kyler?
okay. It says
Mike Evans?
Kyler.
Kyler.
And then just below it says Devontae. And then
We'll do Kyler.
let's do Kyler.
No ball versus no ball. Dude, Jonnu had 0 points until overtime last week. Flat 0 fantasy points until overtime last week. Crazy.
Wow.
And then he got 12 on Underdog in overtime, which is quite the interesting bit.
You still haven't taken Bo Nix or Ramondre for that guy's super chat, Davis.
No, we'll do on the final team. We'll take Bo next.
Just do them both. Can you do Bo Nix and Ramondre in a draft? Or is
I
that
don't
too
know.
much?
I don't even know if a super chat can get me to take Ramondre Stevenson this week. How far down? I mean, that's 4 scrolls of my finger there to get to Ramondre. That's a pretty far scroll.
No ownership.
I tell you, who's a good Bucky Irving is a pretty interesting scroll right now.
Wait, who did that? What tight end is that?
Sorry,
Johnson?
Juwan Johnson.
That's reach.
Juwan Johnson was Peter's gem last week.
It's a gem. Oh, okay.
Peter chose the wrong 49ers wide receiver as his gem. He chose Debo, and I said, Peter, you can't hold on to what's past.
I'm sure I'll have too much of him this evening. Okay, it is saying Devontae Adams, Marvin Harrison, if you want to go.
See, to the aforementioned commenter, he says he
Yeah.
never likes doubles. There you go.
Mike Evans, Devontae Adams. Mike Evans, Devontae Adams.
I'm taking Mike Evans.
Yeah, he is the current winner in my $14.94.
Wow, $14.
Wow.
That's good because I already digested those 2 McNuggets we ate already. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm starving.
getting hungry.
You can even cover the tax.
Wow. All right. We've got plenty of sauce. My man missed the go live notification. Brian, do 17 seconds on the draft caddy. I have to pee.
You got it, buddy. I wanted to do 17 seconds on Patrick Barnes' YouTube because he's never missed a live notification in his life of Davis. Let me tell you. What else do we got this week on the draft caddy here? So you can go back and look at the BR ownership projections, which is cool. There should be a download CSV option on there now too. So like if you wanted to use projections and ownership, I know people do that. You could download it directly and pop it right in your Excel or whatever. Adjust your ranks. With the playoffs, there's a new playoff feature, so you can get a suggested suggested player pick based on rules sliders that you adjust in the settings page. What are those settings, by the way? I keep forgetting like the optimal strategy for the underdog. I mean, for the underdog playoffs. You know how like you gotta follow
it's a little bit of the optimal strategy is not known.
No, it is, isn't it?
How could it be known when we don't even know all the inputs?
Oh well, not yet. Yeah, but once all the teams are decided,
that's why we call it God's game, Brian. That's why we call it God's game, playoff best ball. I didn't know he worked for. I knew that Patrick Barnes YouTube had an association with ETR the whole time, though. I did know that. Okay. Enter one more. Yes, the entire Deposit Kingdom Discord and YouTube community was taunting me because I drafted basically a punt gunner for the Detroit Lions in a mitten draft on stream with Kareem the other day.
Why'd you do that?
Basically because for the lineup that Crane and I were drafting to make the most Super Bowl sense, we needed a running back for the Detroit Lions. And I took Vaki instead of Craig Reynolds.
Okay, the playoffs is all you needed to say. I got it.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like that's better than what like a lot of the normies do. They just take the best player. And it's like, oh, okay, well then you're dead.
Yeah. Well, what did Brian, you said something that really triggered Pete's Discord on like one of the first shows we did. You said optimal strategies will look really foreign to a lot of the regs in a game that's not solved.
Uh-huh.
And people hated that.
It sounds like something I would say, but
it does sound like something you would say. But they were like, basically like, you know, Brian, what does Brian know? He's not in these streets. He doesn't know how to win. Yeah, maybe basically what I'm saying is Sion Vaki is how you solve playoff best ball. It's really, that's kind of the long preamble to get there, but we got there.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see the exact conversation. But like that's based on, I mean, I know I would say something like that. It's kind of like back in the old poker days when this GTO stuff started coming out, it would have like solutions that were really weird and we would never do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or stuff we used to always do turn out not to be a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we were all fucking regs. So, but poker's different than best ball. But yeah, it'd be nice. It'd be nice if honestly, if that kind of edge was still out there.
Yeah. Okay. Saying Chase Brown.
Man, you know, it's Slappy week when the computer is telling us to take Chase Brown at the turn.
Mm-hmm.
This is your week, David. So you don't win this week.
I was gonna say I might need to max enter the Wildcat too because it's all the signs are kind of there.
Now it's saying Chuba. If we want to, it's saying HN, Chuba, HN, Connor. Let's just do HN. Go.
Oh, how what's the dollar value between Hubbard HN?
68 cents.
Okay, let's do HN. I mean, come on.
It's okay.
Not close enough to be like.
I was gonna say there's also not more of a slappy like Devin Achane is what wide receiver drafters think a running back should be.
We might all be able to get our own 6-piece guys if we keep this up, okay?
Brian, the people, Grant Glover wants a Madden update.
Yeah. Big mistake doing the Madden Ultimate Team. So now I'm addicted to the Madden Ultimate Team.
Shocking. Have you spent money yet?
I've spent $0.
But all you can think about is the next upgrade. Oh, I gotta get the hyper elite Randy Moss.
You know what it reminds me of? It's like Magic the Gathering, kind of.
Yeah, it's like crack is what it is.
Well, I only play one computer game on my phone, and it's Hearthstone. So, which is basically poor man's Magic the Gathering.
I was gonna say there's like a big upgrading component to that, right?
Well, there's card collecting, but I, like Brian, do not spend any. I spend $0 on it. I also spend no time studying it or trying to get better. I just like play and figure it out like a normal person. So no Sims, no study. I just play, but it's entertaining.
But yeah, it's a cool format. I like it. Yeah, people complaining about Madness kind of laughable to me now at this point. It's definitely got its problems, but compared to 20 years ago, it's crazy good.
You should see what the FIFA community, the people who play FC 25, like they act like they're being held prisoner. They literally act like they are in a prison work camp being forced to, like it's like I don't have the time, so I didn't buy this year's game, but I still like watch some of the YouTubers and stuff that I watch when I play it all the time, and they truly do act as if
they're an oppressed minority. They're protected.
Like they're like
class.
they're like the EA Sports is doing a hate crime on us, and it's just like I'm like, I don't know, it looks kind of fun. Like I kind of wish I had time to play still.
That's really funny.
I want to talk about the $10,000 thing after we make these picks.
Okay. Jonnu Smith, Ladd McConkey, Jayden Daniels, Mike Evans.
Okay, let's do Jayden Daniels and McLaurin and see what it tells us.
Okay, Daniels. Yeah, it's interesting. So it really prefers to take other options here. I wonder why that is. I'll look at projections, but the difference between McLaurin and the best option on offer is about $1 right now. But let's see what's
the other best option.
It likes Devontae, I guess. It ended a little less than $1.
We're gonna do McLaurin just because
let's see what happens when we get to the end.
Yeah. Brian, what is this Madden $10,000 thing?
Well, you told me before I did Ultimate Team that you gotta like spend thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah.
So, and also it reminds me of you said the guys who feel like they're being held hostage in FIFA.
Yeah.
You don't unless you're trying to win the MCS, the championships. You know where you go play for tens, 20s, thousands of dollars. There's like 10 guys, 100 guys, or whatever who do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you need to spend a penny. And even if you did, and you wanted to be like you're a broke bro and you want to compete in the MCS, you could probably get away with a couple $100. You're not going to have the best team, though. It's true. Yeah. Like you probably need to spend money, and if you're not, I think it's really just a factor of just like everything. There's just people who can't win at things, and then they go, oh, I would too if I had 150 entries, and it's like, no, you probably wouldn't. But like if you can't win, feel like you're not very good, then it's a lot harder to like build a solid team, and it's probably really frustrating. So I could understand that.
Well, this is illegal. It's illegal to buy coins, but you can do it.
Yeah, I saw that. That's like I saw that was like during the altcoin boom or whatever. It's like, yeah, if you go to this site and then this site and then this site, you can get butt coin, and it's gonna go through the roof. And it's like, I don't want to fucking do all that shit.
No, he's saying you can buy the in-game currency. There's ways to do it.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know that's, but you have to go to like these sites,
Oh yes, yeah. Yes. Oh, I misunderstood what you were saying.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to make
just go to Coinbase and buy Buttcoin. I might have done it, but if I had to go to all these fucking side sites and stuff, so yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Bought my man bought FIFA. spend $300 on
Yeah,
it.
if you play against a normal dude who's not spending money, doesn't like grind it and stuff like. I don't know about FIFA, but I'm assuming it's very similar.
No, it's I played Madden Ultimate Team. I played FIFA Ultimate Team. It's 20 to 50 times more intense on FIFA.
More expensive?
More expensive. More people play it, so there's a greater diversity of skill level. It's the most popular video game in the world, basically.
Another thing too, you gotta like there's a lot of incentive for them to make cool stuff too, where there wasn't before. Go ahead, make picks.
Garrett Wilson.
Twitch.
Garrett
Yeah,
Wilson,
Twitch.
Malik Neighbors. Zach
Garrett
Ertz.
Wilson.
Garrett Wilson.
Speaking of
Zach
dudes.
Garrett
Speaking
Wilson,
of dudes.
Calvin Ridley. We're gonna do Garrett. Okay.
Calvin Ridley's kind of due too, although he's not as good as Garrett Wilson.
Okay. Ingram, Ertz, Kincaid, Henry, Jonnu. It's just like take your pick.
Ingram, Ertz.
How can you make playoffs in 1 week?
Ertz, Smith, Ingram.
So is it GPP style? Like the highest score wins?
Yeah, that seems crazy.
That's the only way. That's a crazy change. You shouldn't allow that. But that's the only way I could see you can make it work. Davis, am I wrong?
No, that's right. Shout out to Splash6262 on Twitch though.
We got a Twitch viewer.
I love the Twitch viewers.
All right, does not love this team. We got to go back in the back of the McDonald's and wash some dishes now.
No. No.
You guys are lucky. I wasn't hungry. I was saving my nuggets. I'll return them.
Okay.
We don't have to.
Okay.
I got $4.33 out of this one.
Oof.
All
What
right.
happened? We didn't do anything. Well, we forced the Daniels McLaurin pair, I guess.
If the finals can be in 1 week, but the playoffs can't be 1 week, that's crazy.
Unless you make it a GPP.
That's still crazy. That's not the way-
insane. I've never heard anyone do that.
Yeah, I've never heard of anything like that.
That is interesting.
I actually wouldn't mind that. I would
No,
mind.
it's kind of a fun format thing, but you can't.
A format thing that everyone knows beforehand.
Well, yes, this is insane. I mean, that's insane, dude. If the commissioner, yes,
I'm just trying to convince my friendly league to switch to best ball, but nobody will do it.
It sounds like a college. Yeah, that's what I want to, Dan.
It's like I don't want to fucking trade every week and like
All right.
pain in the ass.
Dan, this is your job, man. You have to, know and care about
Exactly. That's exactly why I don't want to do it.
You know why, Dan? It's big. It's big season long. Big season long is working against us because if they switch to best ball, none of these guys have a job for season long.
Yeah, you know what? Don't switch your league to best ball, man. No one's gonna care. No one's gonna watch my YouTube channel.
Yeah, big season long is scheming against us. They probably have lobbyists. Actually, I know they do have lobbyists.
Big season long feeds itself down to you guys. All right, you don't want big season long going anywhere.
Should we hire someone, Davis, or merge with somebody who does season long?
Yeah, hire me.
Yeah, you can do it. Totally.
You're already hired.
Do we want to try a Josh Allen? Oh,
Yes.
never mind.
Well,
It's like maybe we
right.
should consider. So yeah, you want to do Saquon or Derrick Henry?
Henry. We'll do Henry. Wait, no, we did Henry last time. Let's do Barkley.
Let's just do Barkley this time.
Like I said, actually, you know what? We have not done Jamar Chase yet. He's the only one of those guys we haven't taken. We've not taken.
There's
Chase
an
yet.
example of a player you're never getting if you just strictly do what my computer says.
Well, let me tell you, you simply do not want to do 150 of these and not have Jamar Chase.
I get it. And let me see here. What do I have him as? What is my stuff taken?
For like the 9th pick or something.
Oh no, it's not as bad as I thought. It's just pick 4.53.
But
So
your
we would
stuff
probably-
has a
we would
higher
probably-
value of replacement than the field. Because your stuff really likes Devontae Adams.
Yeah, so we would get some. We would just get less. I thought maybe it would be lower, but it's actually not that low.
Man, my voice sounds terrible.
It's
not that bad.
It is.
It's very little nasally. That's it.
It is killing me. because obviously I spend all day listening to my fucking self-talk.
Yeah.
So it is one of those funny things. Like my job obviously is so easy.
Yeah.
But like if my voice goes, there's just nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do.
I think it's okay to complain. I've been thinking about this a little bit.
Tell me about it. Yeah.
I think it's
yeah, Dan, you would know.
I sure would. It's funny though because
It wants Chuba Hubbard.
it does. Do you want to do
we'll
it?
We'll give it to him. Yeah, why not?
Okay. Yeah, there's as a singer, you get old and you realize there's actually a fair bit of disconnect between how you think you are sounding and performing and how you're perceived. Like there are times where you feel like you just suck and you're actually fine. And the reverse can be true where like everything just feels great and it's actually kind of meh. So
you think that's only when you get older?
No, you learn it when you learn this fact.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
It wants the guy you don't want. So
Who?
saying James Conner, and then it says Kamara, and then no, it says Kamara first now. It says Kamara.
All right, I'm really gonna throw it for a loop. We got to take Bo Nix for this guy, so we're gonna take Sutton, and I want to see if it tells us to take Bo Nix.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna hate this team. This team's gonna be worth like $4 less, probably.
We can earn it back probably.
Hey, Dan, we live in like this interesting. I want to talk about your singing point really quick, if we can. We live in like an interesting time where there's so much, media and video that we're seeing the tail end of like very popular figures, their life in full display. Like I saw Simon Garfunkel, Art Garfunkel performing. And it's like, yikes, Art. Oh man, it makes me feel like you're so old, bro. Like, because you have these pictures of these guys in your head and then they look like Jimmy Carter. And it's pretty bad. And so like the older you get, it's much, much harder to sing for a lot of people, a lot of these guys. And you never would have seen this back in the olden times. So it's like, you would see, like occasionally you'd see,
buddy, back in olden times, people didn't get old. They just died. They had
but you weren't aware of it. Like you wouldn't see, Bing Crosby singing at 80 years old. It'd be tough to get that footage, even if he did it.
Yeah.
Correct. That's true.
And then right as we're making this pick, I got to say this though. You know who Michael McDonald is? I'm sure Dan knows.
Yacht Rock.
Just a second. James Conner, we're ignoring. I assume.
No, we can take James Conner.
Yeah, take James Conner. It likes it here. And it's probably going to have you take Bo on the next pick. I'll let you know, though.
Beautiful.
Sorry, I'm terrible with names. What did you say, Brian?
Michael McDonald. So,
Okay.
you know who he is. He's Doobie Brothers.
Yeah, sure.
Doobie Brothers and just a bunch of stuff on his own. They did a bit on him on what's the Canadian SNL? What was that called? With John Candy.
Yeah. A lot of famous people went through that.
Yeah.
I can't think of it either. I'm
Martin
terrible.
Short, I think. Gene Levy.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I watched the video of him the other day. He's got to be like mid 70s. He sounds almost identical. It's crazy.
There's a lot of luck in that, and then there's also just frankly keeping up the instrument. Oh, this is fascinating.
He talks about it.
You'll never guess. It actually wants Joe Burrow, but Bo Nix is right behind.
No, of course.
Neck and neck, Burrow and Nix. We can just take Nix.
Hey, you got to draft that for that guy. You got to draft Bo Nix.
You're right. Hey, not for that guy. Ryan Jones, long time fan of the
Second City.
Remember the screen. Sorry, Ryan.
Yeah. Second City is it. I remember because I went to in arts high school for my senior year, and my roommate was like a comedian, and it was like that was his aspiration, was to get into Second City. Like that's what he desperately wanted to do.
SCTV.
Yeah.
Is that what you just said? I'm sorry.
No, the chat had.
Oh, okay, yeah. I swear I didn't see that. It came to me.
we had this great joke on the Swolecast yesterday that it's Slappy week, but like Tony Pollard is right wing Slappy. Like he's Slappy, but not like full Slappy. He's right wing Slappy. So that we're waiting for when someone creates that underdog name. We're gonna start seeing right wing Slappy in the rooms because there's Peter Underzet, there's Checkers Liam, there's Take Cast Fan 01. There should be what's the opposite of a brick? Cotton Hooper, Cotton 75. That's not great. Chad Tenor.
You could do like Brick 69.
Brick 69, Chad Tenor.
All right, at tight end,
Ertz.
it's saying
And somebody said Njoku's out, by the way. So
yeah, Henry, Ingram, Schultz, Ertz, they're all running pretty close.
Henry. We'll do Henry.
is the one
It's not going to like this team.
No, it actually does.
Abandon the run. That's very good.
That's good. That's good.
Abandon the run. It likes our team. It says $12.35.
Oh, nice. We're back. Food's back on the menu.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even with Mr. Nix.
Yeah. Well, Nix is going to be a low-owned play, so it's a volatile pick.
Speaking of abandon the run, Davis,
our
guest today on Lulz is Mr. Adam Levitan.
Wow.
Nice.
And we're going to talk about that gambling lawsuit. Did you guys hear? Where that guy,
the DK VIP, the guy who's like
who lost like $700,000, his wife suing or something. And there's that sports betting masterclass. Have you guys seen that one yet?
I saw people talking about it. I didn't look into it. I saw
the masterclass, Dan, with like Negreanu did a poker.
Yeah, Dan.
No, I know. I'm familiar with the brand, but not the.
Yeah, they did one with the sports betting bros. People we know, like Rufus, Captain Jack, and stuff.
Rufus finds himself in the middle of more controversies. That it's like unbelievable. This man
for a guy who's like all into Zen and shit,
I know. It's because his natural the thing he's good at in life, sports betting, like the thing that he got good at, is so at odds with who he is as a core person, but he can't give up the money from sports betting. So he just is continually stuck in this world where his morals and his ethics don't align with the people he constantly interacts with.
I hate this word, but it's perfect. There's also just so many toxic people in that world, like even fans and bettors and everything. And it's just
sports betting people are scum of the earth. I'm sorry, dude.
Wow.
Like gambling Twitter.
And we all sports bet here, by the way.
I've sports
very
bet
rarely for me.
I've sports bet since I was like 16, but sports betting Twitter, gambling Twitter, they're low. I'll say this:
so
gambling Twitter is even worse than crypto Twitter, and you can imagine how terrible crypto Twitter is.
But
sports gambling Twitter is worse than that.
It's so counterintuitive, like to me. Like I get it, but like the level one thinking I had is like you would think fantasy would be much more toxic because you're playing against other people, right? But I can count on one hand the number of toxic interactions I've had with fantasy sports people. Like way more, I've had way more in the poker world. But those are both like versus people like sports betting. It's like we're all trying to beat the house. Like, shouldn't it be like more solidarity or something? It doesn't seem to work out that way for whatever reason.
It's sure.
Poker's definitely more toxic than DFS for sure.
Yeah, no question.
But it's way better miles ahead of sports betting, I would say.
Yes, I'm telling you, dude, these sports betting people, they will eat each other. I don't get it. I really don't get it
at all.
Yeah, they're all terrible to each other. They're all terrible to anyone who shows a slight inkling of like being interested in sports betting. They're like, how do you idiot? You don't understand the intricacies of this. You think that -7.5 plus 100 is the same as -7 plus 115. You're an idiot. You're the dumb.
Yeah.
And also this. There's also a ton of young people who are way more into it. Yeah.
Nowadays, for sure.
Yeah. Nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
there's
saying,
sort of the douchebaggery curve for men. Probably peaks around like, I don't know, similar age to like a lot of sports betting enthusiasts.
Yeah,
maybe?
24 years old. 24 years old, you're at your worst. You're at your absolute worst.
Yeah, maybe it's as simple as that.
How did everything we were into as kids now become super fucking popular? Like none of this stuff was cool. None of it. Maybe when Davis was younger, it started getting cool, but not when I was younger.
That's how I know I'm in.
How everyone does it.
Yeah, skateboarding's in the Olympics. So
I mean, I can't tell you how many Madden videos I've watched where they're like, dude, I got money on this prop, blah, blah, blah. It's like, so these are all those donkeys everyone's talking about.
Yeah,
I didn't know where they existed. Another thing with the sports betting community that's super annoying is everything has to be like this huge plus EV. Like you're just an idiot. Like, how can you enjoy gambling at all unless you have a big edge? It's like, I can't put $20 on, the Bulls because I'm going to it. I have to, right? I can't tweet out. Davis can't tweet out, I like Oklahoma today. Like, no, can't do that. That's only with a huge edge. That's all.
Forbidden.
Only way to enjoy sports betting.
Some people just enjoy the edge.
That's fine, dude. Nothing wrong with that.
Enjoy your edge. I'll be here fading Derrick Henry in battle royales. All right, guys, head on over to Pete's channel, Brian's channel. It's on Pete's channel always. Lulz.
Pete's, yeah, it's on Pete's.
Yeah. All right, guys, go watch Lulz. We're gonna be out of here. We'll be back next week, same time. No, not same time. It'll be a different time at a time.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Bye.
It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks